Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and if you watched my last video, it was a drone flight on the route that I'll be taking on my bike on this video. So here we go, and by the way, I'll speed it up to 5 times as fast because it's already a very boring video. But so I'm going to go down this canal road here, and then I'm going to switch over to the farm field, and we'll be going around the farm field. And if you've been following my channel, you know that I almost got run over. Well, it's been a couple of times recently on my e-bike by crazy drivers. So here's where we turn off of the road, the canal road that I usually take, and we go into the farm field. And there's the route that we'll be taking, and the green dot shows where we are. So we'll just get into this. Well, I've never ridden before, by the way, so I don't, it used to be you couldn't get in. They had it all gated off, but now there's people go here all the time. So as we go along, there's the route that we're going to be taking on the e-bike, and there's where we just jogged in, and then we'll go down to that's the north end, and then we'll head back towards the south end, and then we take a little detour there to take a look at see if we can get near the big 300-mile canal, which is one of the largest in the world. So that's where we are. That's the route we're going to take. So anyway, and coming up here ahead of us, and by the way, we'll go fast and slow so we can see some of the details to keep it less boring. But they used to use a manure spreader truck, and that's the manure that they had left over that they haven't used yet, and that's for fertilizer in their farm field. And so we're going to get up here. Oh, and by the way, this is there's a lot of jerkiness here, so that'll keep it from getting too bored. But this is by far the most boring ride I've ever taken. I don't know if I'm really going to do it this way again or not. Never been on this road. Now, you notice if you look ahead up there, there's it looks like a little berm that we'll be going over, or it looks originally like a road bump or something. And so as I was coming, because the light was so bright, but as it turns out, that's a canal. So it's a good thing that I slowed down and didn't try to jump over that berm. Anyway, I don't usually do that with my e-bike, things like that anyway. So here we go again, and on the other side of the canal that's on the left, that's the nice little path that I like to take. And from now on, if I do this again, I'll be taking that route, because this is very, very, very boring. That one over there has, it's like a little path, and it has trees along the side and things like that. Now we're getting up to the north end, and there's a gate up here. And as it turns out, that gate is open. So I could ride up the left side of the canal and then come in that gate and then avoid the area we just went through. And like I say, if I ever do this again, that's the way I'm going to go. So now we're headed east, and we're headed towards that huge canal that goes from up in one of the big reservoir lakes behind the dam, and it comes all the way down to Tucson, and like I say, it's about 300 and some odd miles long. And my son, he came over here with his golf cart, he and my grandson, and they were looking to see if they could get to the canal, but they told me, they said it's all barbed wired off, and they don't want you to get over there. So anyway, that's what they found when they came over. So now let's see. We're gonna get out of this without tipping over. And the dirt is so dry. We haven't had rain in almost 3 months, and everything is turning to a powdery dust. So you have to be kind of careful. Especially, it's like trying to ride your bike in the snow. So here we're headed south, and down near the end of the south route, I heard some gunshots, and we'll get there, and you'll be able to hear them too, I hope, on the video. So, like I said, boring, boring, boring. Imagine going along here at 10 miles an hour and looking for the end so you can get out of here. But that's that. I wanted to find out what it was like, and so I found out. Now here, that little jog where I turned out in the path I put up there, this is where I took that little jog, and I'm looking around. Never been here before, so don't know exactly which way to go or what. But here we go. We're going to go this way, and this takes us to that. Well, actually, the farmer has a pump over here connected to the big canal, so he can actually draw water out of the canal when necessary, pump it down this little canal that's on our right side here, and then water his field. And so it looks like they have used it because it's got water in it. So I don't know how they do what they do, but anyway, that's the canal right there, and we're looking at the pump that he's got that feeds his field from there. Big signs that say no trespassing and everything. So I guess I'll just turn around and go back. There's nothing to see here. If you ever come to visit, I'll take you on this ride if we get bored. But anyway, yeah. All right, now we're going back to the main path, the main road around the field. It's a nice wide road, well taken care of and everything, as you can see. And he's got it all fenced off to keep the wild animals from getting into his field from the canal side. And he also has it fenced off all the way around. So we go down now. By the way, I just, while we're riding along here, I've been having a headache lately that just will not go away. And it's kind of stressful, but got some appointments coming up with a neurologist to try to see if everything's working. Now we get to this point here, and I'm going to stop and take a look and show you. They're going to be putting a freeway in north and south, right where we are there. And if you look if you're looking down this road here, that will go straight through into town, and it will become a multi-lane highway. And where I'm standing will be the exit and entrance to the freeway, right about in this area. So the freeway is going to be going north and south. So as I'm riding here, that's going to be the same direction that the freeway will be going. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's coming, and it's in the plans. And so then maybe maybe there won't be a dirt road to ride on anyway by one of these days. Then we come along here, and there's a little split in the road there, but I don't want to go down that because I'm riding around the outside of the field. So anyway, and then at this point right in here, when I flew the drone, I remembered I had to turn to the left there because I was figuring things out. Now I want you to listen because we're going to hear what happens next coming up here. And by the way, when I look right, that's looking straight down at my son's house. Hear that? It was a little bit upsetting until I listened close. I could tell that he wasn't firing in my direction. There's a couple ways to tell. If they zing by your head, you know he's firing in your direction. And if they don't zing by your head, but they echo off the poles with a boom, 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 then you know that they're reflecting the sound. But if he's shooting in my direction, when it echoes off the poles behind me, it'll be a snap, snap, snap sound. So I'm looking for him, and there he is up there on the upper left-hand corner. He's by that tree over there. So we're going to stop and see what he's doing here. So he's shooting at something on the ground. That's his target. Anyway, I felt a lot better once I saw what he was, where he was, and what he was doing. So, but those first couple of shots made me stop and listen close. So that took some of the boredom out of the ride. Now we got to go all the way down to the south end of the field. And if you remember in the aerial video, you could see where right along in here somewhere is where the canal washed out, and that we might have passed it back there. I can't remember exactly where it was, but remember there was a. If you watch that video, previous to this, you will see that there was a pickup truck, and the guy was the maintenance guy or somebody was standing there looking at the washout that the canal had sprung a leak and let it run out into the field. So, and that might have been where it was, right in there somewhere, because there's some water in that, but I don't know. Now we're at the south end of the field, and we're going to turn west and head towards home. And on the left, you could see it better in the aerial video, but that's a construction area where they're building houses, but they haven't started building the houses yet because they're they don't have any sewer connections. So they're in the process of connecting up a sewer, but they haven't finished it yet. It runs past our house and everything. And so we're coming down here, and this guy pulls out with his truck on the other side of the fence, and so we're going to slow down because I can either make a right turn here and keep following the farm field, or I can make a left turn where the green dot is down there and get out of the farm field and onto the canal road that heads past my son's house. If you've been following my video, you know my videos, you know what that looks like. So I decided I'm just going to go home because it was actually the most boring ride I've ever taken, and it turned out to be 6 miles, which is an average ride for when I go for a ride in the morning. Here I'm trying to decide whether or not to go through the mud or not, and I finally decide, okay, I'm just going to go. So anyway, from here I just head on down the road next to this little canal and head home to my son's place. So I want to thank you for watching my video, and boring or not, and God bless.